The Law of One Session 43, March 24, 1981.
Ra, I am Ra. I greet you in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Before we communicate, may we request the adjustment, without the touching of this instrument's physical body complex, of the item which presses upon the instrument's head. This is causing some interference with our contact.
Questioner, is that the pillow or something else? Do you speak of the pillow under the neck?
Ra, I am Ra. There is a line of interference crossing the crown of the head.
Questioner, is it this? A 2-inch fold in the sheet is located 3 inches from the crown of the instrument's head and is laid flat on the bed. Is that it?
Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. Please increase the distance from the crown of the head.
Questioner, ruffles in the sheet are smoothed all along the length of the sheet next to the instrument's head. Is that satisfactory?
Ra, I am Ra. Yes.
Questioner, I am sorry that we failed to notice that.
Ra, we communicate now.
Questioner, I'll just try to pick up the last question left over from the last session. If you can answer it, I don't know if it is of any importance, but it just occurred to me that the parts removed in cattle mutilations are the same every time, and I just wondered if this was related to the energy centers and why they were important if that was so.
Ra, I am Ra. This is basically correct if you may understand that there is a link between energy centers and various thought forms. Thus the fears of the mass consciousness create the climate for the concentration upon the removal of bodily parts which symbolize areas of concern or fear in the mass consciousness.
Questioner, are you saying, then, that these parts that are removed are related to the mass consciousness of the third density human form on the planet, and this fear is being used in some way by the second density entities or, correction, the thought form entities that do the mutilations?
Ra, I am Ra. This is correct as latterly stated. The thought form entities feed upon fear, thus they are able to do precise damage according to systems of symbology. The other second density types of which you speak need the, what you call, blood.
Questioner, these other second density types need the blood to remain in the physical? Do they come in and out of our physical density from one of the astral planes?
Ra, I am Ra. These entities are, shall we say, creatures of the Orion group. They do not exist in astral planes as do the thought forms but wait within the Earth's surface. We, as always, remind you that it is our impression that this type of information is unimportant.
Questioner, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I sometimes am at a loss, before investigation into an area, to know whether it is going to lead to a better understanding. This just seemed to be related somehow to the energy centers that we were speaking of. I am going to make a statement and have you comment on it for its correctness. The statement is, when the Creator's light is split or divided into colors and energy centers for experience, then in order to reunite with the Creator the energy centers must be balanced exactly the same as the split light was as it originated from the Creator. Is this correct?
Ra, I am Ra. To give this query a simple answer would be nearly impossible. We shall simplify by concentrating upon what we consider to be the central idea towards which you are striving. We have, many times now, spoken about the relative importance of balancing as opposed to the relative unimportance of maximal activation of each energy center. The reason is as you have correctly surmised. Thusly the entity is concerned, if it be upon the path of positive Harv stability, with the regularizing of the various energies of experience. Thus the most fragile entity may be more balanced than one with extreme energy and activity in service to others due to the fastidiousness with which the will is focused upon the use of experience in knowing the self. The densities beyond your own give the minimally balanced individual much time/space and space/time with which to continue to refine these inner balances.
Questioner, in the next density, or in the fourth density, is the catalyst of physical pain used as a mechanism for experiential balancing?
Ra, I am Ra. The use of physical pain is minimal, having only to do with the end of the fourth density incarnation. This physical pain would not be considered severe enough to treat, shall we say, in third density. The catalysts of mental and spiritual pain are used in fourth density.
Questioner, why is physical pain a part of the end of fourth density?
Ra, I am Ra. You would call this variety of pain weariness.
Questioner, what is can you even state the average lifespan in the fourth density of space/time incarnation?
Ra, I am Ra. The space/time incarnation typical of harmonious fourth density is approximately 90,000 of your years as you measure time.
Questioner, then, is there a time/space? Are there multiple incarnations in fourth density with time/space experiences between incarnations?
Ra, I am Ra. This is correct.
Questioner, how long is a cycle of experience in fourth density in our years?
Ra, the cycle of experience is approximately 30 million of your years if the entities are not capable of being harvested sooner. There is in this density a harvest which is completely the function of the readiness of the social memory complex. It is not structured as is your own, for it deals with a more transparent distortion of the one infinite creator.
Questioner, then the big difference in harvestability between third and fourth density is that at the end of the third density the individual is harvested as a function of individual violet ray, but in fourth density, is it the equivalent of violet ray then for the entire social memory complex that must be of a harvestable nature to go to fifth density?
Ra, I am Ra. This is correct, although in fifth density entities may choose to learn as a social memory complex or as mind/body/spirit complexes and may graduate to sixth density under these conditions, for the wisdom density is an extremely free density whereas the lessons of compassion leading to wisdom necessarily have to do with other selves.
Questioner, then is sixth density harvest strictly of social memory complex because again we have compassion blended back using wisdom?
Ra, I am Ra. This is quite correct.
Questioner, we know that the physical vehicle in fourth density that is used during space/time, I am assuming, is quite similar to the one that we now use in third density. Is this correct?
Ra, I am Ra. The chemical elements used are not the same. However, the appearance is similar.
Questioner, is it necessary to eat food in fourth density?
Ra, I am Ra. This is correct.
Questioner, the mechanism of, shall we say, social catalyst due to a necessity for feeding the body then is active in fourth density. Is this correct?
Ra, I am Ra. This is incorrect. The fourth density being desires to serve and the preparation of foodstuffs is extremely simple due to increased communion between entity and living foodstuff. Therefore, this is not a significant catalyst but rather a simple precondition of the space/time experience. The catalyst involved is the necessity for the ingestion of foodstuffs. This is not considered to be of importance by fourth density entities and it, therefore, aids in the teach/learning of patients.
Questioner, could you expand a little bit on how that aids in the teach/learning of patients?
Ra, I am Ra. To stop the functioning of service to others long enough to ingest foodstuffs is to invoke patience.
Questioner, I'm guessing that it is not necessary to ingest food in fifth density. Is this correct?
Ra, I am Ra. This is incorrect. However, the vehicle needs food which may be prepared by thought.
Questioner, what type of food would this be?
Ra, I am Ra. You would call this type of food nectar, or ambrosia, or a light broth of golden white hue.
Questioner, what is the purpose of ingesting food in fifth density?
Ra, I am Ra. This is a somewhat central point. The purpose of space/time is the increase in catalytic action appropriate to the density. One of the preconditions for space/time existence is some form of body complex. Such a body complex must be fueled in some way.
Questioner, then, there is in third density the fueling of our bodily complex is not only simply fuels the complex but gives us opportunities to learn service. In fourth density it not only fuels the complex but gives us opportunities to learn patience. In fifth density it fuels the complex but does it teach?
Ra, I am Ra. In fifth density it is comfort, for those of like mind gather together to share in this broth, thus becoming one in light and wisdom while joining hearts and hands in physical activity. Thus in this density it becomes a solace rather than a catalyst for learning.
Questioner, I am simply trying to trace you might say, the evolution of this catalyst that then, as you say, changes in fifth density. I might as well complete this and ask if there is any ingestion of food in sixth density.
Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. However, the nature of this food is that of light and is impossible to describe to you in any meaningful way as regards the thrust of your query.
Questioner, in fourth density on this planet after we're totally transitioned, and the harvest is complete, fourth density beings will be incarnate on the surface of this planet as we know it now, this particular surface. Is that correct?
Ra, I am Ra. The probability/possibility vortices indicate this to be most likely.
Questioner, then will there be at that time any fifth density and/or sixth density beings on the surface of the planet?
Ra, I am Ra. Not for a fairly long measure of your time, as fourth density beings need to spend their learn/teaching space/time with their own densities entities.
Questioner, then basically what you are saying is that at that point the teachings of fifth or sixth density beings would not be too well understood by the fourth density, new fourth density.
Ra, I am Ra. Do you wish to query us upon this point?
Questioner, I guess I didn't state that correctly. Is it true that the fourth density, new fourth density beings then need to evolve in their thinking to reach a point where fifth density lessons would be of value?
Ra, I am Ra. We grasp the thrust of your query. Although it is true that as fourth density beings progress they have more and more need for other density teachings, it is also true that just as we speak to you due to the calling, so the information called is always available. It is simply that fifth density beings will not live upon the surface of the planetary sphere until the planet reaches fifth density vibratory level.
Questioner, I was wondering, then, if the mechanism of teach/learning was the same, relatively, then in fourth density. From what you say, it seems that is necessary for first the call to exist for the teach/learning of fifth density to be given to fourth, just as a call must exist here before fourth density lessons are given to third. Is this correct?
Ra, I am Ra. This query is misguided, for experience in fourth density is emphatically not the same as third density experience. However, it is correct that the same mechanism of calling predisposes the information received in a way consonant with free will. You may ask one more full question at this working.
Questioner, you stated that the key to strengthening the will is concentration. Can you tell me the relative importance of the following aids to concentration? I have listed silence, temperature control, comfort of body, screening as a Faraday cage would screen electromagnetic radiation, visible light screening, and a constant smell such as the use of incense for strengthening your concentration in meditation. In other words, an isolation type of situation. You mentioned that this was one of the functions of the pyramid.
Ra, I am Ra. The analogies of body complex to mind and spirit complex activities have been discussed previously. You may consider all of these aforementioned aids as those helpful to the stimulation of that which in actuality aids concentration, that being the will of the entity. This free will may be focused at any object or goal.
Questioner, I was really trying to get at whether it would be of great importance to construct a better place for our meditations. We have distractions here of the types which I mentioned, and I know that it is our total free will as to whether we construct this or not, but I was just trying to get at the principles. For instance, the Faraday cage would be quite a big construction, and I was wondering if it would be of any real value.
Ra, I am Ra. Without infringing upon free will, we feel it possible to state that the Faraday cage and the isolation tank are gadgets. The surrounding of self in a sylvan atmosphere, apart from distractions, in a place of working used for no other purpose, in which you and your associates agree to lay aside all goals but that of the meditative seeking of the infinite creator is, shall we say, not gadgetry but the making use of the creation of the Father in second density love, and in the love and support of other selves. Are there any brief queries before this working is at an end?
Questioner, I'd only ask if there is anything we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or to improve the contact.
Ra, I am Ra. All is well. I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator.